But
So you
now,
don't see using banshees in a normal battle as being advantageous?
I mean, there have been numerous strategies that have been popping up. You know, kind of late in the beta, there was a lot of banshee tank builds that were very very popular. I think that we've kind of waned. I mean, we're almost seeing the beta start over again with so many new players. We have the strategies we kind of saw in the early beta kind of coming back again, and from my experience, I haven't seen a lot of late banshee builds being used. Might be interesting here, but
Chronopolis now has a very, very large force of stalkers, and with the couple zealots in the front and a colossus in the back, it looks like a very dangerous army it's walking around with here.
yeah, I mean, we need to see tanks from the Terran. I mean, with this many stalkers, we need to see.
Colossus gets focused down, but now there's just a hell of a lot of stuff still remaining for Chronopolis.
Yeah, like I said, these Vikings pretty much serve their purpose. They're not going to be able to do much. They're going to try to come out of the air, but they're probably going to get shot down before that ever serves a real purpose. The Banshee here going to try to stay alive like it did in the first game, but like I said, Baez, this is deja vu. This is just a mirror of what we saw in the first game, even with the Banshee surviving longer than it should have.
Now Banshee's getting cloak, and Banshees do a lot of damage to stalkers if the Protoss is unable to locate them.
Yeah, Banshees do a lot of damage to everybody, but yeah, the Protoss has got to be able to see this. I don't know if there's an observer on the way. It doesn't look like it, but he's going to try to run this. This Immortal is going to serve as a back.
Yeah, Chronopolis has one observer in production, so he's just going to back off until that completes. I still think he has a bigger army at this point, and the army tab will confirm that. He's got 1,600 versus 850. So Kim Taeyeon has a bit of catching up to do in terms of army here.
Yeah, and worker count has virtually evened out, which is pretty surprising. Kim Taeyeon had a big worker advantage when that successful, or a semi-successful rather, medevac drop into Chronopolis' base. Would have liked to see him use that to his advantage. Like I said, build more beefier units with that worker advantage that he had, but. Worker count evened up again. Both of these players getting their second expansion up. Chronopolis aware of Kim Taeyeon's. Kim Taeyeon maybe not aware of Chronopolis's right now.
Kim Taeyeon putting up a third expansion here, and Chronopolis putting up a pylon in that expansion. That is a very strange decision. These SCVs can take out this pylon any minute or any time they choose, unless, of course, units are going to be warped in here. But no, like, Kim Taeyeon is not going to stand for that. Nobody wants to have a pylon in their base, specifically like 1 inch away from their command center.
Yeah, maybe thinking he could get a few zealots warped in there and take out as many workers as he can. A fair resource trade-off. Kim Taeyeon really going Banshee heavy right now. Which is interesting, like I said, just talking about, we'll see how the Banshees can perform in the late game. Phoenix is coming out now for Chronopolis, so he's sensing that the air threat is there, going to build units that the Banshees cannot attack.
Yeah, those stalkers, they are a little weak to Banshees, I think. I think it's a good decision to integrate some Banshees, but I don't think Banshees alone are going to do anything here, especially with this, this cannon up. There's an observer nearby, no doubt about it.
Pretty good initial positioning rather for Kim Taeyeon. Wasn't
too slow to escape from a Phoenix. This Phoenix is going to take down at least one more, or will it? No. Good micro there by Chronopolis, backing off at the exact right moment, knowing those Marines would have killed him in an instant.
Chronopolis warping in more stalkers, which is a good idea. Building another Phoenix, he's going to try to counter precisely the army that Kim Taeyeon has. Like to see Kim Taeyeon mix it up, show something to Chronopolis that he's not expecting, but more or less sticking to the same 4 or 5 units here for the whole game. Chronopolis is too, except for this Archon and a High Templar here, and this could be real dirty if Kim Taeyeon gets his units balled up and he's not ready for this High Templar. But the High Templar, I don't think, has enough energy right now for the storm, so he's
Kim
just
Taeyeon splitting up his army nicely. Not balling up too much, creating a line of units instead of a ball. And
Archon doing a real good job tanking there initially, and
Colossus again doing great job. staying in the back and dishing out the damage.
And I think by the time Kim Taeyeon has enough for a counterattack here, this High Templar will have enough energy for a storm, and that's going to be very, very dangerous.
Oh, Phoenix is unfortunately just flying over those missile turrets, and the Observer did the same thing, just dying to that static defense. A little bit of a misstep there by Chronopolis.
Here comes Kim Taeyeon's counterattack. No benefit of the Phoenixes anymore, or the Observer, but there's no Banshees on the field anymore. Going to use a blink to try to catch these units off guard. Looks like the Terran taking a lot of damage, but the Medivacs doing a good job here. High Templar here just kind of waiting, hanging out, waiting for that storm. When will the storm come? Come on, storm. Let's get this going here. I don't know. He really balled up SCVs, and the High Templar goes down, having never really done anything in this battle. He was a spectator. He had
sure that High Templar did he use feedback or something? I feel like I saw his mana go down, or his psi rather.
Might have used feedback just because he was so bored.
Yeah,
just so bored of that battle. But now Void Ray going to work on these forward or north bunkers. The SCV is going to try to shore up the armor on these missile turrets, see if they can take down this Void Ray. But the Void Ray out of range for the time being, except for right now as it pokes its head in. The SCV, the Void Ray
go down without doing a damn thing.
The Void Ray now out of position.
Do any damage? No,
there we
nothing.
Go. Marines catching up to that Void Ray.
Well, it was a good scout, right? He was able to see exactly what Kim Taeyeon has here. Again, lots of medevacs. This game is turning into a real grind. I'm not sure if Chronopolis intended to play such a long game, but he's into it now, and both players expanding big time, doing exactly what they need to do for the long haul.
I like Chronopolis, adding a few photon cannons to each one of his expansions. It's really helped him out when Kim Taeyeon has found them, and now a lot, 6 High Templars out on the field, kind of just gathering up energy. So Chronopolis thinking to himself, you know what, I could have really turned the tide there with some storms, and I wasn't able to do it. Let's see if I can give myself a second chance. A lot of pylons all over the map here. I think Chronopolis feeling that this is going to be a grindhouse all over the middle of the map. And
Orbital Command landing for Kim Taeyeon right outside of Chronopolis' southern expansion. This Orbital Command is just sitting here, just being a really weird unit. I mean, I'm not sure what it's doing. I guess he landed it there for fun.
Yeah, thinking maybe he could have blocked that entryway, but it is not. It is not blocked. There is still a way in, and that orbital command gonna go down. Maybe he wanted to expand there himself. Panicked.
Giant battle happening here on the north. A couple storms going down.
Let's see if they can catch the rest of these ground units with another storm. Those medevacs going down. A few reinforcements here for Kim Taeyeon, but it looks like these zealots, with their charging, going to be able to push this off. High Templars morphing into Archons now, which did a really great job tanking before, and these zealots just tearing through these Marauders, which are just too slow to do anything, to kite them with this charge.
Yeah, Kim Taeyeon doing everything right there, knowing he has to kite when faced with so many High Templar, and he was running, he was doing exactly what he needed to do, but with those zealots, with such a large amount of zealots, all armed with charge, you can't really escape for long.
Cloaked Banshees back out on the field, which is perfect for Kim Taeyeon. Amazing that these Banshees, like we were talking about before, these Banshees are really showing that they can be made useful in the later game.
Chronopolis now adding 18 extra Stalkers to the fray, moving them into Kim Taeyeon's northern expansion.
Yeah, a lot of Zealots out on the field right now for Chronopolis. I don't know if it'll be able to do what they need to do to these Ravens, to these Medevacs, to these Banshees. Going to hit them with feedback, going to hit the 2 Ravens with feedback, get them nearly dead, but without any Stalkers around to do any air damage. They're not going to go down. See if these Archons can transform. They will take down the Raven. These units probably not on Kim Taeyeon's mind right now, because they're just kind of sitting by, trying to kill those Archons, fusing together, and they're not going to be able to do it. And Kim Taeyeon,
great use of warp gate technology there throughout the entire game, continuously producing a mind-boggling amount of units and pushing non-stop.